is going on, my people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your boy Nasim the Dream. Ladies and gentlemen, we have something to talk about. Something that I've been really thinking about for a while, and not only that, because of what's been going on in the new, a lot more talk has been continuing on with this controversy of whether Sleep Token is actually worth the hype. If you are not familiar with Sleep Token, they are easily one of the most popular bands to come out of the rock and metal scene right now. They bring in a lot of different ideas with their music, and it's just been really taking off, and it's been storming audiences, bringing in new listeners, and I think without a doubt, whether you love them or hate them, are one of the most popular bands right now. Now, I came here to talk about Sleep Token because I have had a lot of change of heart with this band over some time, especially after when Take Me Back to Eden dropped. I'll talk a little bit more about how my feelings have progressed right there. But first, I want to show you a clip of an opinion that I'd just seen about their newest single that came out, Emergence, which, by the way, is a fantastic track. One of my favorites to come out this year so far. It has just really demonstrated something in terms of growth, something so exponential, and it's something that's really exciting to look forward to as a longtime metal listener. So needless to say more, this song is absolutely kick-ass. It is awesome. It has amazing sequences. I love the jazz outro at the end of the song, and I just feel like the production just goes so hard on here. I think the progression is addicting. It is so clean cut. I want to show you a quick opinion that is pretty similar to what a lot of people have really been saying about not just the song, but with the band in general. And this is Mr. Anthony Fantano with his weekly track roundup. And first song is his opinion on Emergence, and here it is.
Do we still need to pretend this is a band that's good? Do we still need to be doing that? Like this just sounds like EDM with bad metal guitars and just worse vocals, like generic. Like if these vocals were coming straight out of the alternative metal era they are so obviously inspired by, they would not stand out in the sea of bands. Again, just like very glossy, almost EDM type production with very basic, like boring prog metal guitars. Like, what is the point? What is the...
Because of how highly I really view his criticisms and the way he elaborates himself in linguistics, I was sincerely disappointed with the way he explained himself and his feelings with this new track. The problem is not that he didn't enjoy the track. I could care less whether someone that is a celebrity, that is a critic, that is somebody that I know personally, whether you like something that I do or dislike something that I do. Again, I want to hear your opinion, but there's a certain point where like judgment comes in where it's just absolutely ineffective. I really don't think people should let anybody else's perception, especially if it's quite aggressive and diminishing of your personal taste. But I'm really disappointed to see this man describe the track as an EDM produced song, which I'm assuming he's talking about the progression and sequences of the song, which other than that, if that's not what he's talking about, my guy, you do not listen to enough EDM if you think that this track sounds like that. The Marshmallows, John Summits, Out of the Cascades, Tiestos, that is like clear-cut EDM that I think about, and if you hear that in this, my brother in arms, you are not paying attention. It's such a poor criticism to really talk about the buildups like this when we have never complained ever when bands like Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd did the same thing with their music that led into an epic crescendo to end off the song. That's kind of what's going on here. That's what I'm assuming he's talking about. I just think that it's just, you don't have to like it. I just think that it's just such a poor description. To say that the song is draining as well because of its length time, like my guy, you listen to death metal tracks and records that go on for more than 20 minutes on a single track that is clearly so much more aggressive, so much more harder, and just so much more longer with this frame, like how I mentioned. And I like death metal. I don't like it as much as him, but I just think it's just a bit pretentious to really just come out here when you have a very similar guilty pleasure with a different category in metal, because the point is not to come at Mr. Fantano and his very poor description of the track. The true point into this video is to bring my side of an argument that I want to hear your opinion about. I do not think this band deserves the hate it is getting, because I truly believe this is one of the few bands out right now that is gonna help evolve this genre in the long run. I want to give you some numbers real quick about some similar bands that use djent styles and just overall some of these new alternative different ideas into their music. First, we're going to bring up Spiritbox, where they get 3.6 million listeners a month. We have Gojira, 2.2 million, Knocked Loose, 1.4 million, Architects, 3.1 million, Make Them Suffer, just about under 1 million, Poppy, just under 3 million, and then there are Bad Omens with the whopping 5.2 million listeners. The number of listeners that Sleep Token accumulates in a month is nearly 6 million listeners. This is the only band in this similar realm of audiences that I think come the closest to Bring Me the Horizon, which are at a whopping, I believe, 14 million listeners nearly. With this next notion, I want to contradict myself real quick, because I also believe that numbers aren't everything. Because if numbers were everything, Disney would have the best movies out right now. Yes, that is over every single movie that you can think about that has even had an Oscar nudge or has just been clearly a much better received movie. As much money as they like to burn in a dumpster fire, their profits nearly succeed 25% per project, and they come out with movies that are worth over $200 million on average. I'm only using this analogy to help explain to you why I don't think numbers are everything, because if we just looked at the highest one, we're gonna automatically think that is the best and superior. Well, in a certain category, sure, but it's not going to tell you everything. It's not going to completely guarantee you that you are going to love what you're about to hear or what you're about to watch or what you're about to eat, etc. Here is the truth of why I really feel like the average metal listener really hate on Sleep Token. They are fully convinced that this new inspiration will bring a new audience with a diluted perception of what metal is. Yes, I really do believe that a lot of people are afraid that when these new listeners come in, they're gonna automatically try to change the style and the genre as a whole, and for some reason that makes them feel like they can never ever have what they used to love back in the 2010s, the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, all the way back on, which makes zero sense to me, because nothing will change for those bands because they were already set in stone with what they did. So it just, they become somebody's next inspiration, and that's what this band is doing. They are adding new ideas that really accumulate all the way from pop music, electronic sounds, djent obviously, that I really feel like is the main structure of it, as long as also with rock music, with melodrama and heavy metal. I just don't think it's anything but hysteria about the hate of this band, because I think people know for sure about how popular this band is becoming and how it's clearly bringing in new listeners, that for some reason that new mob of listeners, when they grow exponentially, that the original metal sound will vanish, which is not the case ever. But what is somewhat true is that the sound will change and the popularity of the sound will change in terms of what's demanded. With all that mentioned, I want to say something to my metal listeners. Whether you like this or not, I really do feel like you should be happy that a band like this is bringing in so much attention. Since these new listeners really like this band, it can get to the point where they want to know what was influencing them and what sound style was similar to this back in the day. Doesn't that give it ultimately a better chance for them to find out about those bands? That's such a W to me. That is one of the most important things that I feel like a lot of people are not really regarding, and I really do think that benefits everybody in this community. I really do. Now, I'm a 90s kid. In our era, it was technically the new metal era. It was the Slipknots, it was the System of a Downs, it was the Limp Bizkit. How much you want to bet that the guys that listened to Sabbath in the 70s, when they heard this shit come out, they were like, this is absolute dog shit. You really don't think that they didn't, and that's just not just heavy metal. If we're talking about the origins of death metal, and we're getting to black metal, all these new things started. Once these new things started, the OGs got really upset and just started to shit on it. When a band or an artist comes out and shows something new with a vast improvement or just fusion of an idea, it's not gonna automatically change what you listen to and just have it vanish. It creates a new branch in this huge family that was created very, very long ago, and then they become part of the family that you're in. That's it. I truly think that Sleep Token is one of those bands that not only brings in the numbers, but back it up. The thing I most love about them, the mystery. The cosmic mystery that this band is bringing that has completely changed my perception on the band, as I wasn't completely bought on immediately, because what Take Me Back to Eden, I'm pretty sure when I came on my review, it was a poor review, and I definitely didn't enjoy the record that much. But over time, things just started to change, and it didn't have to, but I just kept hearing certain singles that were super popular off of that record, and they just started to sound like they worked, and they just brought something so much more fresh and renewed. And out of all the bands and all the music that I listen to, as I listen to a lot of styles of gent and hardcore and heavy metal, a lot of it can get old, and I can't really fathom about another band that's really made me feel like this, except like with bands like Spiritbox and with Knocked Loose. Those are definitely like my two. Oh, and Poppy. Those are the artists right now in metal that have been super popping with their new ideas and their brilliant talent schemes that have actually been surfacing so high to the point where they're performing with Jimmy Kimmel and they're getting Grammy nominations. This band is up next with them. They're right there. Every day that I give them a play, they just give me something more and more to digest and comprehend. This is not necessarily a band that I think I would call like one of my favorites of all time. I don't necessarily find them that endearing at the moment, but my reaction to the overwhelming negative criticism to this band is just foul. I just don't find it to be intriguing, as I really do want to hear people's opinions. So I haven't really heard a good one yet. I haven't. The only one that I understand is it's not for me. I get that. But when people say like it's bad, it sounds like garbage R&B, or it sounds like garbage EDM with gent riffs, it's like, huh? Yeah, man, I don't know. I think this band is good. I think they're getting better and better every time they come out with new music. And that is such a beautiful thing to see. And on top of that, I love that they're coming out with what they want to come out with, no matter what the perception is, no matter how vastly different it is, which it is different. And I love different. But on top of that, what I love more from an artist is the confidence that this is what they wanted to come out with. It wasn't the studio that made them come out with whatever that sounded like. It wasn't the pressure from the audiences. It was them. This is their final decision. This is what they wanted to come out with. This is what they wanted to say. This is what they wanted to sound like. This is what they wanted the finish to be. And this is how they want to look when they perform. And that is it for this video, guys. A little bit of a rant. It's okay if you don't like the band. It's not a big deal. But I just think that if you're going to have an opinion, have it make sense. Don't just be saying shit that you clearly don't understand. But be sure to let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this. Are you a fan of Sleep Token? Are you not? What do you like about the band? What do you not like about the band? Just please make sense. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you in the next one. That's it.